In Don't Believe Everything You Think, Joseph Nguyen takes readers on a deep introspective journey into the nature of thought and how it shapes our reality. The core message of the book is simple yet profound. Our suffering does not come from external events, but from our own thoughts about those events. Most people assume that whatever they think must be true, but Nguyen challenges this belief and shows that thoughts are just mental constructs, not reality itself. The expanded edition of the book includes additional insights, new chapters, and practical frameworks like the PAUSE method, which helps readers step back from intrusive thoughts and respond to life's challenges with more clarity. The book also integrates journaling prompts and original poetry, making the reading experience more immersive and transformative. At its core, this book is about achieving mental freedom by recognizing that not all thoughts deserve our attention. By letting go of negative and unhelpful thinking patterns, we can experience greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Thought. Nguyen begins by explaining a crucial concept. Thoughts are not reality, but merely our interpretations of reality. Most people assume that their thoughts are facts, but in reality, thoughts are shaped by personal experiences, societal conditioning, and deeply ingrained fears. For example, imagine that you make a small mistake at work. Your mind might immediately generate thoughts such as, "I am such an idiot. My boss is going to think I am incompetent. This could ruin my career." However, the mistake itself is just an event. The real problem is the story you create around it. When you believe these negative thoughts, you start to feel anxious, ashamed, or even hopeless. Nguyen emphasizes that the problem is not the mistake itself, but our reaction to it. If we can recognize that thoughts are just mental noise, we can stop giving them so much power over our emotions. The key takeaway from this chapter is that thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something does not make it true. By learning to question your thoughts instead of automatically believing them, you can free yourself from unnecessary stress and suffering. Chapter 2. Why Thinking Causes Suffering. Nguyen argues that suffering is a product of our minds. Pain is a natural part of life. Things will go wrong, relationships will end, and disappointments will happen. However, suffering is created by our resistance to these experiences. For example, imagine that you go through a breakup. The event itself is painful, but the real suffering comes from thoughts like, "I will never find love again. I wasted years of my life. There must be something wrong with me." These thoughts do not change the situation, but instead intensify the emotional pain. When we replay negative events in our minds, analyze them endlessly, and resist accepting what has happened, we create a cycle of suffering that could otherwise be avoided. Nguyen suggests that when we stop identifying with our thoughts and simply observe them without attachment, suffering naturally fades. If we accept painful moments without adding unnecessary mental stories, we allow ourselves to heal more quickly. The key takeaway from this chapter is that suffering is not caused by life itself, but by our thoughts about life. Learning to let go of unhelpful thoughts is one of the most effective ways to reduce suffering and find inner peace. Chapter 3. The Power of Awareness and Presence. A significant part of this book focuses on mindfulness and the power of being present. Nguyen explains that most of our worries exist either in the past or the future. We regret things that have already happened, or we stress about things that have not yet occurred. For instance, a person might dwell on past failures and feel ashamed, or they might constantly worry about their future financial security. However, neither of these scenarios exist in the present moment. Nguyen encourages readers to practice mindfulness by focusing on what is happening right now. This can be done through simple techniques such as paying attention to your breathing, observing your surroundings, noticing your thoughts without reacting to them. When we become fully present, we create space between ourselves and our thoughts. This shift allows us to experience life more fully and with a greater sense of peace. The key takeaway from this chapter is that the present moment is the only reality. When we focus on the now, instead of getting lost in mental projections, we experience more clarity and calmness. Chapter 4. How to Stop Overthinking. One of the most practical sections of the book introduces the PAUSE framework, a method for breaking the habit of overthinking. Pause. When a stressful thought arises, stop and take a deep breath before reacting. Acknowledge, recognize that it is just a thought, not reality. Understand. Ask yourself, is this thought useful or harmful? Shift focus. Redirect your attention to something grounding, such as your breath or surroundings. Engage. Choose a constructive action, such as journaling, meditating, or going for a walk. By following this process, we can disrupt the cycle of overthinking and regain control over our minds. The key takeaway from this chapter is that overthinking is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken. The PAUSE method provides a simple yet powerful way to stop excessive mental chatter. Chapter 5. Letting Go of Control. Many people experience stress because they try to control everything, how others perceive them, how situations unfold, and even how they feel. However, the more we try to control life, the more frustrated and anxious we become. Nguyen suggests that true peace comes from letting go of the need for control and instead embracing uncertainty. This does not mean being passive or careless, but rather learning to trust that things will unfold as they should. When we stop resisting uncertainty, we become more adaptable and open to life's natural flow. This shift in mindset reduces stress and allows us to handle challenges with greater ease. The key takeaway from this chapter is that trying to control everything leads to anxiety, while surrendering to life's unpredictability brings peace. Final thoughts and personal opinion. Don't Believe Everything You Think is an insightful and thought-provoking book that challenges the way we perceive our thoughts and emotions. Joseph Nguyen presents powerful ideas in a simple and relatable way, making this book accessible to anyone who wants to improve their mental well-being. Strengths of the book. Practical techniques. The PAUSE method and mindfulness exercises are easy to apply in daily life. Relatable examples. The book is filled with real-life scenarios that make abstract concepts easy to understand. Empowering message. It teaches readers that they have control over their responses to life's challenges. Areas for improvement. If you have already read a lot of books on mindfulness and self-improvement, some concepts might feel familiar. However, Nguyen presents them in a way that feels fresh and deeply impactful. Who should read this book? Anyone struggling with anxiety, self-doubt, or overthinking. People who want to cultivate more mindfulness and inner peace. Readers interested in personal growth and mental clarity. Overall, Don't Believe Everything You Think is a must-read for anyone looking to break free from the cycle of negative thinking and experience life with greater joy and clarity. The book provides a powerful reminder that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This is a book that I would highly recommend, especially to those who feel trapped by their own minds. The insights within its pages have the potential to transform the way you see yourself and the world around you.